I've been lucky enough to live and photograph in London for over 30 years now. So I wanted to make this video to show you 6 of my favorite places for taking urban landscape photography in London. There are some fantastic locations, so this is kind of a video aimed at people either you live in the city and you want to know where to go to get the best shots, or you're visiting for a weekend, or you live nearby and you want to come in for the day and spend some time in London shooting from the best spots to get fantastic landscape photos, urban landscape photos that look like this. There are a few things to bear in mind though when you do this type of thing. One, it's really important to think about what time of day you go, whether you go at dusk, at dawn, or at night when the light is the best. And also in London, you'll see a lot of these locations depend on the river. So what's one of the most fantastic things about photographing in London is that you can use the river for this really lovely extra bit of interest and detail, whether it's at full tide, whether it's at low tide. It just gives you lots of different opportunities for creating some really nice shots. In the comments, I put a link to where you can find out about the tides, when they're high and when they're low. Also some info on when to find out about when sunset and sunrise time is. And I'll also share a link to a blog post on the website which shows you a list of these places written down so you can save that, and also a map of exactly where the locations are. So the first location that I'm showing here is Ebury Bridge Road. This picture that you can see that I've got here was actually taken quite some time ago because it's when Battersea power station was under renovation, and you can see all the cranes and stuff which are no longer there. But you can still get this fantastic shot. There's a specific little pathway you go on Ebury Bridge Road near Victoria. Go down there and you can see these great shots where you can get these leading lines of the train tracks and the trains going towards Battersea power station. That nice curve gives that nice kind of curve, draws you into Battersea power station, and you get this really nice shot. So landscape photography terms, you've got this foreground and you've got the background. So that's kind of what we usually look for traditional landscape photography. Urban landscape is no different. This is a spot where you get this open vista of Battersea power station, leading lines of trains. Best time to go for me for this one is nighttime, because then you can do your long shutter speed and you can get those light trails of the trains leading towards Battersea power station. Okay, that's my first. Moving on to the second location, it's this place in Bermondsey. It's a beach in Bermondsey. Again, I'll share a link to the exact place where this is if you go to the blog post. So I've put little map links on there, so check the comments, click that link. This is one of my favorite locations. Best time to go for me for this one is low tide. And this is important because you need to get down onto that beach. So check the tide times, go at low tide, get it down onto this beach, get the beach in the foreground, and then you can shoot this nice vista of Tower Bridge and the city as well there. Blue hours when I got this shot, really like it, always like the shot. Something to be a little bit aware of with this shot is just make sure about building works. There's often building works going along around this area, construction cranes, things obliterating your view a little bit. So before you go, maybe do a quick look on Google Maps, make sure all looks clear, check it out. What you're going to need here for this shot is, again, you're going to need your tripod. I don't really think you need any filters, but because, if you go at the below, you can slow down the shutter and you can make that kind of soft effect with the clouds and the water. So yeah, simply camera, reasonably wide angle, probably about 24mm I use for this shot. And yeah, get down there, get that foreground, bit of beach, bit of water, city in the background, low tide, blue hour is the time to do this one. Third location is this shot here, opposite the London Eye. For me, the best time to get this type of shot is daytime, when the tide is high, because you're not going to get down to the beach, you're going to do it from the Banks of Thames. It's by the Battle of Britain Memorial. Closest tube station is Westminster. Make sure that the London Eye is open and moving, because then your long exposure is going to get you this shot with the spinning effect of the wheel. Cloudy days are great for this one because you want to get that kind of movement in the cloud. And for this shot, you're going to need your tripod, you're going to need your camera, and you're going to need probably a 10-stop ND filter. Yeah, for a cloudy day, a 10-stop ND filter. That's going to let you use a longer shutter speed. It's going to let you slow shutters down so that you can keep over for 30 seconds, for example, like this. The slow movement of the wheel will show as blur, and you will also see movement in the cloud and also that flattening effect on the water. So high tide, middle of the day or daytime, daylight, cloudy day is best for this one. Tripod, camera, ND filter. This is the type of shot. Again, you're on the opposite side of the river to the Thames, so you get a longer view, a wider vista, and this works really well. Classic scene of London. So the fourth one is not one specific location, but I can suggest a few. This is if you get the opportunity to go up any of the skyscrapers in London, whether you work in an office or you're visiting, or you can go to some restaurant or even pay to go to places like the Shard and that sort of thing. I always really love the shots when I get the opportunity to get them from this higher angle, this great view that you get. I've got some shots here from the Canary Wharf area, from in the city. This higher viewpoint, this bird's eye view, again, it lets you see further through the city, gives you longer views. You can see really interesting things. You know, you can see the BT Tower here, you can see the bend in the river. Best time for me to do this is dusk. You know, you get that lovely light across the city. You can also do it at night time, which works really well. Probably you're not going to be able to use a tripod for this. So I would literally just go with your camera. And when you have the opportunity, when you're in a skyscraper high up place, get these types of shots. If you do go to places like the Shard, you might have to put your camera up against the window. You can buy special things I've seen that go like a rubber thing that stick your camera to the window to get rid of reflection. So just be careful of reflections if you're shooting through windows. I'll post a few pictures here which you can look at, and I'll also post links to which of the locations I've used to get these shots. But if you get the opportunity, getting up a skyscraper is a really great place to go. So what equipment needed? Just your camera, and best time to go for this is kind of sunset, just so the sun is going down. So the fifth one is a little bit different, a little bit further to the west, and I really love this shot. I like this shot, I think, because for some crazy reason I did it in middle of June when sunrise was something crazy like 5 a.m, but for some reason I was there doing this shot. This is at sunrise, at dawn, or a shot of Battersea Power Station from Chelsea Bridge. So it's the north end of Chelsea Bridge looking towards Battersea Power Station. You can get this really nice dawn sunrise shot of Battersea Power Station because you get the light coming in from the direction where it's just catching the side of Battersea Power Station, really shaping it, looking good, and you get this nice long view down the river. And what you're going to need for this shot, you could try this with a polarizing filter to see what effect it has on the sky. I would go probably when it's high tide, time high tide with sunrise. Look at the info for that. So high tide, sunrise, dawn, shooting towards Battersea Power Station from the north end of Chelsea Bridge. You can get this really lovely shot. You probably could do it without a tripod, but if you want to really maximize the shot you want to get, use your tripod. Maybe have a filter and polarizing filter, like I said, but don't necessarily need it. So tripod camera is you're going to get this really nice shot of dawn with Battersea Power Station. And finally, number 6, night photography, something I love. So there's multiple locations I could share for this. But for this one, I'm going to share a location which is the beach on the north side of the Millennium Bridge. There's a set of steps you can go down there and you can get onto a beach. So you want to go there when it's low tide. If you go in the winter months, it's dark by 7 o'clock, so you don't have to go particularly late. But if you time 7 o'clock with a low tide, you can get down to that beach and you can get this. Is one of my favorite nighttime shots of all time, which is the Millennium Bridge in the foreground with the Shard behind. If you're lucky enough to go in an evening when there's clouds moving through the sky, you know, your settings, you don't even need a filter, but at nighttime, I think I normally use like f16, 30 seconds, ISO 100, tripod, and then that gives you that flat water, you get your movement in the clouds, and you can get this really amazing night photography shot of London. There are loads of good night spots in London, especially at low tide. This is one of my favorites. So I hope you like these locations. I hope you like this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe, and you can see more of my tips and information and insights into taking great photos in London and further afield.